So let me start recording. Yeah, fine. So let me just tell you in one line what we have done till now. So CNN, convolution neural networks. In this, the first word is convolution. This is the reason I repeat every class at least for 1 minute so that you'll recollect everything. So convolution operation, we have seen why this is required. Once we have known that the convolution is used for two reasons. One is to change the image properties, and the second one is it helps to understand the second reason to generalize the image so that system can do a lot of image based tasks and video based tasks. So after we know this, we added this convolution operation to a neural network, then it is called as CNN. So in the CNN, we started with what do you say, this goal of achieving layers. That means, for example, we started with the first CNN architecture that is called LayNet CNN. LayNet CNN. So let us see that architecture, which is very important, very, very important, guys. If you don't understand this architecture, because we will learn around 5 to 6 architectures, if you don't understand this, you will not understand anything. Okay. Try to listen very carefully. Firstly, let me take an image. Draw along with me, Nana. I think climate is very, very good. I think across your places and across the state. That's the reason you woke up very late. People, fine. So assume that I have a certain image with certain human written digit. Now slowly you'll recollect what we have discussed in last class. So it's a 32 by 32 image, and you have to classify whether the digit is 5 or not. I think that is what Shiva is mentioning. So let us start with some convolution layer, because a LayNet architecture contains combination of many layers. Okay, layers can be convolution layer, layers can be convolution layer, layers can be max pool layer, layers can be fully connected layers. These three possible layers form together to call it as, we call that as LayNet architecture. So should I have one convolution layer, then followed by max, then followed by FCN, or what is the sequence of combining these layers? That based on that sequence, we call LayNet or some other architecture. Do remember, guys? Based on the sequence of convolution layer, max pool layer, and FCN. These are the three possible layers. Majority of the architectures. There are some other uh, average pooling layer. There are other layers also, but we will see that majority of the architectures, at least few architectures, will contain these layers. But the way that these layers are arranged, based on the sequence of their arrangement, we call them as different architectures, LayNet architecture, some other architecture. We will see that one by one. So now, firstly, let me just take okay. I have to apply the convolution operation. I have to apply the convolution operation. So for the applying convolution operation, what do you require? You require filter size. So assume that the filter size is 5, that means 5 by 5, and the stride is 1, and the padding is 0. Padding is 0. And let us try to apply the formula that we are studying from the beginning. It is Wi plus 2p minus f by s plus 1. What is the width of the input? That is 32. Plus 2p, padding is 0. This is our configuration that I have chosen. So 2p is obviously 0, 2 into 0, 0, minus f. F is 5, filter size is 5 by 5, so it's 5. Let's try 1 plus 1. So if you simplify it is 28. That means output width is 28. That means this is 28. Similarly, the width also is 28 because the width of the input and the width of the height of the input and width of the input are both the same. So the output also height will be same. The output height also will be same. Now, that means this is my output. That means 32 by 32 image I converted into 28 by 28 image. Perfect. Now the question that should come to your mind, sir, you reduce the size. Yes, I reduce the size because I feel that to recognize the digit 5, every pixel of that image is not required. Maybe certain pixels of that image 5 is sufficient to recognize the digit. So that means I'm generalizing my understanding. But you cannot understand with one filter. You require n number of filters because each filter captures certain pattern. Now, how many search filters I have to apply here is k is equal to 6. Totally, how many filters I'll apply? 6 filters. Now, for one filter, you have 28 by 28 frame. Now, if you apply the same thing for 6 filters, then I'll get for second filter, you will get another frame. Third filter, another frame. Fourth filter, another frame. Fifth filter, another frame. And sixth filter, another frame. So you totally get 28 by 28 frames with 28 by 28 frames you'll get because I applied 6 kernels and each kernel contains 5 by 5 filters. Okay, so now we should calculate the number of parameters. Now this is extremely important. You'll get as a question. I already told last time. You'll get a question based on this. I will give a new architecture and I'll ask you to calculate number of parameters. Okay, and draw the architecture and calculate the number of parameters. Before I calculate the number of parameters, you should get a doubt. Sir, who told you that f is equal to 5, k is equal to 6, s is equal to 1, p is equal to 0? Who told you this configuration? Nobody told me. The person who invented this architecture came up with this, configuration. Okay. So he decided that when he has started his experiments, he started with f is equal to 1, f is equal to 2, 2 3, 4, 5, and p is equal to 0, p is equal to 1, p is equal to 2, p is equal to 3, etc., etc. He tried all possible combinations, n number of experiments he has done, and he has fixed to this configuration when he observed the lowest error or highest accuracy. It's more of a brute force approach that he has tried all possible combinations and came up with this configuration. Okay, so from now onwards, now again I'm telling, from now onwards, whenever we are telling this configuration, it's completely empirical based or experimental based. There is no reason, proper reason on why people have chosen this. They tried impossible configurations and they settled down with this configuration. So do not look at why this, why this, why this. If it is there, I'll always like to tell that reasoning. I love to give the reason, but there is no reason for this. It's mostly, not mostly, it's 99.9% it's empirical based. Okay, maybe here and there is used some intuition, but whenever there is intuition, I'll tell you at that point. But this configuration is fixed with the empirical estimation. Okay, now before I just jump into the next layer, because I said architecture, CNN architecture is a combination of layers. Now I should identify the number of parameters, because what exactly we do once we have an input image, I perform convolution operation with the filters, right? The same thing, the image can be represented in the form of vector. If for example, if the image is 10 by 10, so 10 cross 10, 100 values will be there in the vector form. I converted that into vector form. Now, I apply the convolution operation. For example, this convolution is operation between 1 to 5, 6. 1 to 5, 6. One neuron in the hidden layer. This also we have seen how to represent the CNN in the form of DNN. Okay. So that means here I should have a weight. Totally how many parameters? 2, 3, 4 parameters. But like this, I'll have n number of connections. In total, what are the number of parameters? So number of parameters are nothing but number of values that you have in the filter. So what is our filter size? Filter size is 5 by 5, and that filter has to be applied across the depth. What is the depth of your input? Only 1, because assume that this is a gray channel, gray black and white image. In black and white image, by default, you'll have only 1 channel. So 5 into 5 into 1. And how many search filters you want? 6. So the number of parameters are 150. Okay, this is extremely important, guys. This calculations we will ask you in the exam. So parameters is equal to, what is the formula now? Formula of parameters: filter width into filter height into number of input channels into number of kernels. This is a formula. Number of input kernels or current kernels, or whatever. Input kernels may not. Yeah, number of kernels that you apply for that layer. So this, based on this operation, based on this formula, you will calculate the number of parameters. So filter width is 5, filter height is 5, the number of input channels that I get to that is 1, and number of kernels that I applied is 6. So totally 150. I hope you'll use this formula for next calculation. So let us see how many of you will tell the answer. Now after this, this is my convolution operation 1. Let me do the next layer, that is called max pooling layer. Whatever the layer that I apply, I'll get some output. Now the max pooling layer configuration. This configuration, again, it is decided by them. S is equal to 2, F is equal to 2, K is equal to 6, P is equal to 0. This is a configuration for the next layer. Now, can you tell me, guys, what is the output width and height? Again, if you want this, see in the exam, we ask this only. We give these configurations and we'll ask you to estimate the output width and height. It is dead easy, because for width you have a formula, for parameters you have a formula. So dead easy, it's simple. It's like 5th class based formulas. It's dead simple. W naught is equal to Wi plus 2p minus F. I'm writing by S plus 1. Now tell me, guys, what is my input? What is my input? Input is 28. Yeah, anybody have done it? What is my output width and height? Anybody have done it? Substitute in this. I'm just substituting on the way. Plus
14, sir.
Yes, perfect. 14. 14 by 14. So how he got? Plus 2p is 0, minus f is 2, by s is 2, plus 1. This is obviously 14. So width is 14, height also will be 14, because the input width and height are also symmetric. So now I got width and height. Now what will be the number of parameters? Here, see, here people will get confused. Do not apply this formula for max pooling layer. So this is called max pooling layer. I'm not applying convolution layer. This is actually called max pool layer. Max pool layer. Now, what is the difference between a convolution layer and a max pooling layer is, let me tell you. For example, I have some output that can be 28 by 28 or whatever. And I assume that my filter size in the max pooling layer, because in max pooling also I have filter, In convolution also I'll have filter. But in the max pooling layer, assume that I have 2 by 2 filter. I applied 2 by 2 filter. I applied 2 by 2 filter. Now each pixel is having some value. This is maybe 100. This is maybe 101. This pixel is maybe 105. Pixel maybe 107. Now what max pooling does, as the name itself indicates, pool the maximum pixel value from your filter size. Now among this filter size 2 by 2, what is the maximum pixel value? 1 by 7. So I'll have the output pixel as 1 by 7. Now your filter will move like a convolution operation. It will go to next this one, this one, this one, this one. What is the maximum value? Assume that the maximum value is this one, 110. The next one will have 110. That means each time it moves, it strides to the next possible combination like a convolution operation. It takes the maximum pixel value in that empty frame. So if you apply convolution layer, it will have, if you take a 2 by 2 filter, it will have some values, pixel values. I already told. Okay, each one is some weight associated with that operation. But in max pooling layer, you will have a filter, but you will have an empty filter. You will not be having any parameters here, any weights. Just among this 2 by 2, this 2 by 2 empty filter will be fixed in the or overlapped with the input image, and I take the maximum. That means a max pooling layer will have a filter, but filter is empty. But when I have weights, then only the concept of parameters will come. Then only I have to apply this formula. But now I don't have weights. I just have an empty filter. What is that filter size? Filter size is 2 by 2. Now by default, whenever you apply the number of parameters formula, please ensure that you are not using max pooling layer, or you are not at the max pooling layer. That means you have to apply that formula only for the convolution layer. For max pooling layer, always the number of parameters is 0. Why it is 0? Because I have just an empty filter 2 by 2. I don't have weights in that filter. By default, I take the maximum out of 2 by 2 filter from the input image. That's all. So the number of parameters is 0. Okay. So, but you need to again draw this in this you have to complete the diagram. Let us see that. Now for one 2 by 2 filter, I have 14 by 14. How many search filters I have to have? 6. One, two, three, four, 5, and 6. Okay, just connect it. Okay, so this is 14 by 14 into depth is 6. Okay, so this is max pool layer 1, max pool 1. Now should I stop at this? Now after convolution you have max pool. Okay, similarly I keep on having this multiple convolution layers, multiple max pool layers, and we need to continue this now. I don't have a space here. Let me continue here. Okay, it will be just, what is our last layer? It's max pool layer. It's 14 by 14. And how many search you have? 6, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so 14 by 14, 6. Now the next configuration, and now I'm going to apply convolution layer 2. Convolution layer 2. Convolution operation, second operation. Okay, now again, whenever you apply, you have to look for the configuration. The configuration given for you is S is equal to 1, F is equal to 5, K is equal to 16, P is equal, you should tell me the answer, no, P is equal to 0. Now can you substitute in that formula and tell me my output width and height? Anybody? What is my output width and height? It's very childish, but you should Tell me the width and height. Make it fast. Just substitute and you'll get it. Anybody? Strange. You're not. Okay. I don't know why you're not telling, guys. It's frustrating. Substitute, Nana. I don't know whether you're understanding. If you don't understand, please interrupt me, Nana.
10, sir.
8, huh?
10.
10. Great. Thank you. Awesome. It's very simple, but only 1 or 2 guys are responding. So WI, what is your WI? 14.
14.
If you don't understand, please listen to this. 14 plus 2p is 0 minus f is 5 by s is 1 plus 1. This is obviously 10. So 10 by 10 is my width of single. That means if I apply one filter 5 by 5 across all 14 channels, what is so not 14 channels, 6 channels. Do you remember, guys? Whenever I apply 5 by 5 filter, I should apply. See, I call this as 5 by 5 kernel. I should tell you this, guys. One kernel is a combination of multiple filters. I already told you last time. Multiple filters. Now, when I say 5 by 5 filter, I should also say this 5 by 5 filter has to be applied. Multiple 5 by 5 filters has to be applied across channels. That means one 5 by 5 filter will be there for this channel, another 5 by 5 filter for there for another channel, another 5 by 5 filter, another 5 by 5 filter, another 5 by 5 filter, another 5 by 5 filter. That means how many such filters? 6 such filters. Okay. So this is called one kernel. This is called one kernel. How many search kernels I'm applying here? 16 search kernels. 16 search kernels. So when I have a kernel with one kernel with 5 by 5 into 6 channels, this is one operation, one kernel operation. Okay, because it's not, do not think that the same 5 by 5 will be applied across all channels. No, we'll have different 5 by 5, different 5 by 5, different 5 by 5 for each channel. If you have 10 channels, 10 5 by 5s will be there. If you have 100 channels in your input image, then 100 5 by 5s will be there. But here only we have 6 channels, so 6 5 by 5s. Okay, when you apply this, you aggregate. You remember, guys, that's an operation that I've told earlier, RGB channels. You aggregate this, because whenever you do convolution operation, 5 by 5 convolution operation, you get one value. You get one value here, 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 one value here. You average this and you get one pixel value. Again, you move the 5 by 5 here, move here, move here, move here, move here, extract that 5 by 5 filter across the image, and you get again 6 other values. Again, you average. Again, you get 6 other values, you average. Again, you get 6 other values, you average. Like this, the entire kernel, that means 6 channel filters, will stride across the corresponding channels, and finally I'll get one 2D image. Is it clear, guys? This, if you don't understand, there's no point in going with these architectures, because the entire module 3 is composed of architectures only. If you don't understand this, you'll not understand anything. Is it clear, guys? Anybody having doubts? Please, any doubts, guys? Any doubts? Please let me know. Okay. So 5 by 5 into 6. Now, how many search kernels I'm applying here? 16 search kernels, right? That means how many 2D frames I'll get? 16 2D frames. So it will be difficult to draw, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm very bad at drawing, guys. Please ignore that. Totally, how many search filters? Sorry, how many search channels? 16 search channels, because I applied 16 kernels. Each kernel will give one 2D frame. Okay. Now, this is about convolution operation 2. Now, what I do is, again, I apply max pooling layer. Max pool 2. Whether you apply max pool or convolution, the configuration is required. What is the configuration here is S is equal to 2, F is equal to 2, K is equal to 6. Before I go with this, before I want to erase this, I want to tell you the parameters calculation, number of parameters required for this operation. Sorry, not writing. How many parameters we require for this? Just calculate. It's very simple. Width and height of your current thing, that is 10. Sorry, your filter. Sorry, not your width. It's filter. Width and height of the filter is 5. Hey, Baba, why this is not writing? This is frustrating. So 5 by 5 filter size. And what about the number of channels in your input image? It is 5 by 5 filter. Not what people do is they take the number of channels in this. That is bad. You should not take the number of channels of your current output. I already have written clearly. Where is that? Filter width, filter height, number of input channels. Number of input channels for this. What is input? This is input. So 5 by 5 into 6, because I apply my kernels there. And how many search kernels I have to apply? 16 search kernels. So this is the total number of parameters. I think you'll get around 2400. Am I right? Let me just do that operation. 5 into 5 into 6 into 16. I hope it's 2400. Yeah, 2400. So this is 2400 parameters are required. So this parameter estimation is extremely important, and it will get for a around 8 to 10 marks question, but will not give for one layer. We'll ask you to do it for n number of layers. So it's a mechanical job, and it's easy to also complete very fastly. Okay, but you should be comfortable. Don't get confused. Okay, totally 2400 parameters. See, okay. Now, the next thing, max pool 2. Max pool 2 also, I should have a configuration. The configuration is S is equal to 2, F is equal to 2, K is equal to 16, P is equal to 0. Actually, I don't like these configurations, Nana, basically, because there is no reason behind it. Whenever there is no logic, of course, a pure logic, I don't like to, I don't like that particular topic. Okay. But unfortunately, the CNNs who are being extremely well nowadays, extremely performing well based on these fixed configurations. Maybe in the labs we'll see it. Whenever you can come up with your own configuration, Anna. Later you'll see that whenever you change the configuration, the width and height of the image will change, and the way the architecture comes up with also change. So that means there is no fixed rule that you only go with this S is equal to 2, F is equal to 2. Maybe you go with F is equal to 3. Nobody will stop. Everything is a hyperparameter. You can do that. But what happens is you can compare your architecture with the LANet architecture. LANet architecture for classifying the digit. For example, if the digit can be 5, digit can be 6, digit can be 7 on your image, handwritten digit. The system has to classify whether it's 5 or 6 or 7. So you take hundreds and hundreds of images and you ask the system whether it's 5 or 6 or 7. As a human being, it's very easy for us, but for the system, it can't do it. Okay. So because it's there as a handwritten digit, 5 can be written in n number of ways by a number of people. So the system should be able to classify it as 5. So you can ask the LANet architecture to classify whether it's 5 or 6 or 7. Maybe out of 100 images that you have given, 70 images it correctly predicted. Now your architecture could predict 80 times out of 100 images, 80 times correctly predicted. But that doesn't mean that your architecture is better than the LANet architecture, because it performed only for this particular data set. It performed well only with this data set. You have to try with n number of data sets, and then if it is really performing across all n architectures well than the LANet architecture, then you can publish a paper. Okay.
That's what people are coming up with, multiple architectures. But it's not easy because already you just changing f is equal to 2 to 3, you're getting better performance. That means, do you think that LANet has not done all that combinations? Already people have tried n number of combinations and they are getting the best accuracy with the standard configurations, standard architectures. It's not easy to come up with a new architecture that performs across multiple data sets. Okay, it's definitely not easy because people really spend, they have huge supercomputers, okay, very high end servers, and they tried for like 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 years, and they came up with this possible combinations. It's not just 1 day or 2 day, but we don't have that high end computers. Getting up with a new configuration which is better performing them is not easy. Maybe it performs for a certain task, but not for all similar tasks. But at least LANet architecture will perform, or any standard architecture will perform very well across multiple tasks. That's very important. Generalizing the performance with multiple tasks is very, very important. Okay.
Now, so now what is my next level? S is equal to 2, F is equal to 3, K is equal to 16, and P is equal to 0. Now, what is my width and height? Width and height again, it would
So
be
3 or 2, sir?
sorry, it's 2 only, Nana. It is 2. S is equal to 2, F is equal to 2, and K is equal to 16, P is equal to 0. Now, when you apply that, it will be
5 cross 5, sir.
yeah, great, great, super, Nana. 5 by 5. And how many search 5 by 5s will be there? 16.
16, sir.
Yes. So again, I have to draw this. It's little mechanical job, but I have to draw it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Do not worry about my drawing. I think you should get reasonable understanding of it. So 16 5 by 5s. Now, after this, like this goes on, Nana, but they have stopped with n number of layers. What are that layers? Totally, how many layers we have studied? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 convolutions and 2 max pools. Should I stop at this point? No. Actually, very, very interesting point is, very, very interesting point. People really get surprised here. Now, this max pooling layer 5 by 5 is connected to the fully connected layers. Fully connected layers, guys. What is fully connected layer? I'll tell you. For example, earlier in a deep neural network or artificial neural network, if I have a input layer, this is my input layer, this is my hidden layer. Every neuron will get connected to every other neuron. Every neuron will get connected to every other neuron. Similarly, here also the same thing. So this is called dense connections, or this layer is also called as fully connected layer. Fully connected layer, as the name itself indicates, fully connected. Okay. Now, what we are trying to do here is, whatever the 5 by 5, whatever the 5 by 5 into 16 channels. So 5 by 5 into 16. That means how many you'll get totally? Whatever the output that you get, that is around 400. 5 by 5 into 16, whatever the image, because you have 5 by 5 output images and search 5 by 5 output image, 16 channels you have. Now what I do is I convert that 2 by 2, sorry, that matrix representations, 5 by 5 matrix representations into vector form. So 5 by 5 into 16 is 400. So first pixel, second pixel, third pixel, fourth pixel, 5, 6, 7. These are all, it will goes to 25. This 25 belong to first output image. Then 26, 27 till 50 belongs to the second channel of my output image. Like that it goes on. Okay, till how many pixels? Till 400. Okay, you vectorized your matrix. Now I'm having a hidden layer. I'm having hidden layer neurons. and these are densely connected. How many hidden layer neurons you'll have is, you'll have, I think it will be around 120 neurons. Like this, it goes on 120 neurons in the hidden layer. Now, each neuron will get connected to 120 neurons. Again, here all the second one, third one, like this. That means 400 neurons will get connected to upper layer 120 neurons. This is called fully connected layers, but I'm not representing like this. I'm representing like this. This is fully connected layer. So what is the size of it? How many neurons I have? 120 neurons. I'll tell you the reasoning. I told now it's not completely blind in choosing this. There is some only minimal logic. That minimal logic I'll tell you. So 120 layers. Why suddenly the fully connected layers has to be introduced? I'll tell you. There's a wonderful reason for this. Again, I'll have one more fully connected layer. That means one more hidden layer. That hidden layer is having 84 neurons. That means after this 120, I'll have one more hidden layer with 84 neurons. This again will be connected. This 120 neurons will be connected to all 84 neurons in the next layer. Okay. So like this, I'm representing 84. Again, this is very important, guys. I'll have the final output layer. This final output layer is having 10 neurons. Can anybody tell me why the last layer should have 10 neurons? Anybody? Why the last layer should have only 10 neurons? Very important, Anna, please. Anybody? See, what is a task that we started with? It's a digit recognition. Digit recognition, handwritten digit recognition. So how many digits you can have? 10.
10.
That means yes, great. Totally, I can have the probability distribution of the 10 digits. That means what I get is, I get, because in the last layer I generally apply what? Softmax. That same thing, Nana. I'll tell you one more interesting point. I'll tell you first. The last layer, the softmax, right? Last layer is softmax. So softmax, what it gives? It gives the probability distribution of the entire 10 classes. So maybe this is 5. So the probability distribution assume that 0.1, 0.1, maybe 0.1, maybe 0, maybe 0.7. Rest of them are zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is for digit 0, probability is 1. That means the whatever the handwritten digit that I have given as an input to my CNN architecture, that is LANet. Finally, it has given me the probability that this is 0 as 0.1 probability. The probability of that digit being 1 is 0.1. The probability of being 2 is 0.1. The probability of that digit being 3 is 0. The probability of that digit being 4 is also 0. The probability of that digit being 5 is 0.7. For 6, for 7, for 8, for 9, all are zeros. Now, what is the highest probability? 0.7. So that means I classify that as 5. That means it correctly predicted. So this is called probability distribution of your predicted values. I think you already know that while we are discussing about softmax, we have seen it. So since these are 10 values, we should have 10 neurons, the last layer. Okay, perfect. Now, one first question. Anna, we are done with the architecture, Nana, but there are a lot of things that we have to discuss. The first thing is, sir, you are telling about the convolution layer, max pool, convolution layer, max pool. Where is the activation function? See, without activation function, there is no non-linearity. If there is no non-linearity, you cannot classify the non-linear points, because most of the data in the real world is non-linear. It's not, you cannot fit the data with a straight line. Data will be non-linear. You should have some curve like this, but you cannot search in this non-linear fashion without having the activation function. So I thought some of you will ask me in the process of explanation, sir, where is the activation function? We'll not forget our basics. Okay, in the DNN, immediately after this, we'll apply the activation function, right? After aggregation, we'll apply activation. So here also we'll apply the activation. once we are done with the convolution operation. Immediately after the convolution operation, we apply activation, then only we go for the max pooling layer. Do remember, guys, this is extremely important. When we apply the activation function, immediately after the activation function, okay, it can be anything. Again, you can choose ReLU, you can choose a sigmoid, you can choose tanh. Again, it depends on your task, but activation function is applied immediately after the convolution operation. Okay, now one question I'll ask you: should I apply activation function after the max pool layer? Should I apply activation function after choosing max pool layer? No. Why no? Because see, after I apply activation function, already each pixel value is been reduced to a certain range. For example, take the case of logistic sigmoid. When you apply logistic sigmoid to the pixel values in the input image, everything will be scaled down to 0 to 1. Okay, so now with the scaled down versions, you're trying to take the maximum values. Okay, and there is no again point in scaling down. I just want to generalize my scaled down values. So that is the reason I'm applying max pool. That means after applying the max pool layer, there is no, generally we don't apply any activation function because already the scaled down versions are available after the convolution operation because I applied activation function here. Okay, sir, no sir, I'll apply. Yeah, you can apply. There's no harm in doing it, but you'll not get anything because already they are scaled down versions. Okay, so you can try that in the lab experiments. So now, okay, next question. I have told you about activation functions. Perfect. Another thing is, why should I suddenly jump to fully connected layers? This is my favorite reasoning. I have two more questions which are really favorite because there's a logic in this. Because these configurations do not have logic, but once we are trying to understand the logical points, it makes some sense. The question one is, where is activation function? I already told. Without activation function, you can't get non-linearity. So there is a logic for this, and I apply after the convolution operation. So this question is done. Next question, why fully connected layers? This is actually an interview question, Nana. They'll not ask. See, do remember, guys, they'll not ask, okay, can you tell the configuration of LANet architecture at some point? Maybe convolution layer. In LANet, you'll have convolution layer 2. Can you tell me that configuration? Nobody will ask because even the interviewer will not know. Nobody will ask. You don't need to worry about that. But one thing you need to remember, the sequence of LANet architecture. What is the sequence? Convolution layer 1, max pool. Convolution layer 2, max pool. Then followed by 3 fully connected layers. That you have to remember. Only the sequence you have to remember. No need to remember the sizes also. No need to remember the configuration also. Okay. Now, yeah, why fully connected layers? And the third question is, what is happening? What is happening? What is happening with filter operation? Whenever I do any filter operation or kernel operation or convolution operation, what exactly is happening? I say this already I've told, but I want to give a another valid reason with convolution operation. These three questions, one is done. Let us try to answer this question 2 and question 3. Before I answer that, I'll tell one more point and I'll wind it up. See here, we are trying to calculate the number of parameters for each operation. Okay, so what is the take home, guys? The take home, guys, is we will have the number of parameters for convolution operation. For the number of parameters for the max pool is always 0. Then what about the number of parameters for the fully connected layers? That we have not done, right? Now, the number of parameters are, what is the total, what is the output size here? What is the output size here? 5 by 5, right? 5 by 5. And how many such 5 by 5s are there? 6 5 by 5s are there. 6 5 by 6, not 6, 16. 16 5 by 5. All of you listen this carefully, Nana. Let me take one very odd color. Listen this carefully. Number of connections between this and this. So 5 by 5 into 16. And how many connections? These are dense connections. Every pixel of every channel will be connected to 120 neurons. It is 120. 5 by 5 into 16 into 120 plus, we forgot about the bias because every neuron will have the bias. So totally 120 neurons. So 120 biases. Totally how many parameters? 48,120. 48,120 parameters are required here. 48,120 weights are required to perform this dense connections. Now, what about this? It's little clumsy, Nana. Please try to understand this. Now, what about the connections between this, number of weights between this? You know that it's 120 into 84. It's 120 into 84 plus, what people tend to do is they forget to add the biases. The exam I've seen in the last time, your seniors also, they say 120 into 84, 120 into 84, but they don't add 84 biases. That you have to add, otherwise the answer will be wrong. So I think you'll get around 10,164. 10,164. And what about the last layer? It's again simple. 84 into 10 plus 10. 84 into 10. 84 into 10 plus 10. We'll have 850 parameters. So please redraw this architecture. Maybe I'll take it from the internet, and then I think I'll show you that standard architecture next time, because I have drawn the same thing, but only thing is I've drawn with the hand. It's little clumsy. So if you search in the internet, you'll get it. So the number of parameters for convolution layer, the fully connected layers, are 48,120 plus 10,164 plus 850. Now, if you see, the majority of the parameters are in the fully connected layers. Sir, you started the CNN to reduce the number of weights, because number of weights is the main reason for overfitting. You have to use CNN, or you used CNN to reduce the number of weights. But if you see in this fully connected layers, there are like huge number of weights. Of course, in non-fully connected layers, number of parameters are 2,400 or like 150, etc. But in the fully connected layers, you have thousands and thousands of weights. That means, again, do we have a chance of overfitting? No, because if I convert every output channel into vector form, and then do the dense connections, you'll have millions and billions of weights. You'll have billions of weights also. I'll show that maybe in next architecture. I'll clearly show the distinction. But as of now, before I go to the next architecture, we need to answer this question: why fully connected layers? What is happening with the convolution operation? I already told the reason of convolution, but I'll tell one more my favorite reason. So with this, after doing this, we'll go to the next architecture. Like that, we have 5 to 6 architectures. But understanding this basic architecture is very, very important. Any questions, Tana? Let me stop recording.